tabletop role-playing news. We aim to amuse and we aim to enthuse. And Morris's unofficial tabletop RPG. Doggy.
Hello, and welcome to Morris's unofficial tabletop RPG talk. I am Russ, aka Morris, or Morris, aka Russ. And with me this week is...
It's me, Jessica from EM Publishing, and you will notice a lack of hype in my introduction as we are minus a PJ coffee this week.
People having holidays again. Don't understand this.
Well, they are allowed, so PJ will not be here next week.
Are they allowed?
Yes, I said so. But they will return the week after, so we'll be back to our usual merry trio. But because there's two of us, I think there may be less waffle this week.
It'll be shorter, I imagine, and more concise.
And also because there is not that much news this week, so there we have less to waffle about. Is that not fair to say?
I don't think that's an unfair thing to say.
Indeed. Hello if you're watching live with us, and hello if you're listening to the podcast. If you're listening to the podcast, you can join us live as we record every week on Fridays at 2 p.m. British Standard Time. Summertime, not standard. It's British Summertime, which is 9 a.m. Eastern, and we do that on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. So you can join us in the comments, or you can just carry on listening to whether you're listening to the podcast, because we don't mind. We're not your parents. We won't come and tell you how to live your life.
Or are we your parents?
I hope not. I've already got a dog, and that's enough effort for me.
Yeah, same here. All right. Would you like to buy some D&D stuff?
I'm going to need a little bit more information to decide.
Well, would you like to participate in an online auction for 149 separate vintage Dungeons and Dragons and some other vintage sort of 1970s RPGs, like original D&D wood grain botched sets back from 1975.
Wow.
Vintage rule supplements like Blackmore, the first ever campaign setting by Dave Arneson, the co-creator of D&D, along with Gary Gygax. Classic vintage modules such as the Tomb of Horrors and such as Steadying of the Hill Giant Chief and the Village of Homlet. A bunch of original art pieces and illustrations from older D&D books. And some assorted bits and pieces like Gamma World, Vassar's old Doctor Who role-playing game, the official Indiana Jones RPG, which, as we all know, the Diana Jones Awards were named after. You can pick that up there too. There's basically a whole load of stuff, 149 different items, mainly vintage, really old, kind of rare, hard to get vintage items. Like these wood grain boxed sets of the original Dungeons and Dragons sets are going, like, the bidding's already started. The end on October the 16th.
I imagine they're going to be worth a lot more than they originally purchased for, because I can see on the front covers, one was $10 and one was $5, and I suspect they will go for a lot more than that.
You will be correct. I mean, there's still 20 days left on the auction, and both of them are over $5,000 so far.
Oh my goodness, I'm out. No, when you asked if I was interested, I'm not that interested. I guess these are really collector's items, because these are these are the original ones, and if this is something you collect and it's your hobby, then these are priceless, aren't they?
These are like, Star Wars toys. If you had them back in the day and picked them up for $10 or whatever, and you've got them now, they've made, so far over 500 times their original value, and it's going to go up more as well. They won't go up $5,000.
No. Oh my gosh! Wow. So what's happened with this? Is this like a estate sale for somebody or something, or is there? Or do we not know?
I don't know the origin of it. It's basically Heritage Auctions, which is a sort of like collectibles auctioneer house.
Okay.
So they do this sort of stuff all the time. If you go and look at them, they've got other collections. I've seen before, like a sort of vintage James Bond stuff collection on there, and there's it's like genuine movie props and things like that. You'll get, and they do comics, and they do just all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
Basically, if it's collectible stuff, they'll do auctions of those things. I don't know whether this was somebody's giant house sale or whether it's a bunch of different people or what. I don't quite know how that works, but they do tend to have these big auctions of like 100 or more items all grouped together into a theme.
Yeah.
And then,
This is very cool.
It is
So they're selling them all as individual stuff, but I can get
correct. Yeah.
Like, is there anything?
I mean, they're not all going for like $5 grand. There's some stuff on here that's like $30. $30.
Just 30 grand.
$30. $30.
Pocket change. let me just check in my pocket. I might have $30 in my pocket. But not 30 grand.
There's some still only at $1. You know.
Oh, what's at $1?
Quite a lot of things actually. Quite a lot of the sort of the modules which you can pretty much pick up on eBay for not that much more than cover price. Not all of them. There's some of the Dragonlance modules on there and things like that. They're not all super rare.
Okay. Are you not tempted to pick up the Dragonlance modules? Because you do like a bit of Dragon. You got them all already.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to know. If you ever need to sell them for $1, you could.
I had them all originally back in the 1980s.
Oh, so you've got the original ones still?
Yeah.
I wonder how much your collection would sell for. Because in the background of your room, you have many role-playing games.
Yeah, well, the Dragonlance module's not that much. Looking at this, I mean, there's one going for 55 there actually. So.
Oh, okay.
So maybe I don't know. So assuming the Dragonlance modules are 50 odd, because they've got things like various TSR modules from the 80s, most of which are still going for about $1. But then occasionally there's one going for 300 or 600. So it seems a bit random.
Well, I guess it's an auction, so if you know the value, or maybe that's one particular one that's really hard to get, and if that's the one thing missing in your collection, you might be like, do you know what, that's worth 300 quid for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's 149 items in total.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to be for me though, because I'm not a vintage RPG collector. I have very few role-playing games I collect to be collection items. I usually use them and abuse them. People listening will be shocked. Like, I'll open a book, the spine will get cracked, and I
can't really say the same, can I?
No. The only except, well, actually, even my collector's edition of the Level Up Advanced 5th edition, which are limited edition and now running out, I still use them like normal books. I don't keep them for best.
Okay.
That's your Indiana Jones.
I have the Indiana Jones one. So I'm going to look for it on this auction and see what it's going for at the moment. Is yours? Yours looks in reasonable condition.
It's
okay condition, yeah.
It's not. There's a rip there.
It's a little battered, but it's in something that's
been
40 years old.
Yeah.
It's 40 years old, which is considerably older than me.
Yeah, I was about to say, did that get passed down to you from your parents or something? Because you're only 25.
Yeah, I am. There's more Dragonlance modules there. $60 for one, $60 for one, $1 for another, $30 for another. So they're not going for massive amounts. But I'm trying to find this Indiana Jones one because I'm really curious now to see, as you asked, what my collection would be worth.
It's interesting, isn't it? Well, somebody in the comments has just put $60, and I don't know if that's them saying that's how much it is, or they're making you an offer. Us could be the case. Could be the case either way.
It's not for sale. $60. Yes, they're saying they found it clearly. So this is going for $60 on the auction right now.
Okay, well, that's how much that's how much I expect to pay for a modern role-playing game anyway. So that's generally my sort of budget for role-playing games. Yeah. Although my role-playing game budget has gone a bit awry the last few months, but that's fine.
Well, there's a James Bond one going for $45. I got that up there too.
If you ever decided to sell your collection, I think you would make a pretty penny, because just the sheer volume of stuff you have.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know if you have anything that's how much would you be willing to spend?
I haven't got anything super valuable though. I haven't got any like of these wood grain box sets of first edition D&D or anything like that.
No,
nothing like that.
If I had one of those, I would sell it. If someone was like, "I'll give you $5,000 for this role playing box set,"
I don't think I've got anything that you can't pick up on eBay.
No, fair enough. What's the most you would pay for a role playing game? Like if one of these old editions.
Oh, for a collectible?
I don't know. Yeah.
As opposed to a new one.
Because I don't really collect them. I don't know how I'd be willing to pay anywhere near in the thousands.
No, for something like this, I'd probably pay a couple of hundred or 300 quid for a box set, but obviously they go for like 5 to 10 grand. So
Yeah, but I'd pay that for a nice.
For
I'd pay that for a nice Beadle and Grimm box set or something like we're looking at.
what, 5 to 10 grand?
No, no, like a few.
I know they're expensive, Jess.
$100.
Yeah, they're like 300-400, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway. Okay,
Yeah.
well, if you are a collector and you are willing to pay some of those prices or looking for a deal because you know what isn't worth stuff, I guess check out that estate sale.
Yeah, I mean these box sets, these wood grain box sets, do come up from time to time. They're not hyper rare. It's like a couple of times a year you'll see someone selling one.
But it sounds like these are in really good condition and it's by a proper auction house, so it'll all be legit. Because sometimes if you see something on eBay and you're paying a lot for it, you worry that could it be a scam or
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'd certainly trust this. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Would I buy? No, I probably would pay a bit more for a wood grain box set. I think just because that item though only.
Yeah.
Just because that is like the sort of original kind of fancy thing to have.
Yeah.
What would I do with it? Just sit on the shelf.
You put it in a display box somewhere so your dogs couldn't eat it. That's what you'd have to do.
Yeah.
In some sort of safe.
Yeah. Because I wouldn't play it.
With special lighting shining down on it. Like a museum piece. You could get a pillar.
Like a spotlight and like this sort of holy music, choir music going every time you walk into the room. Yeah.
Yeah. I think if you're going to invest in something like that, that's the least you should do.
Yeah, I'm not going to bid on that. But good luck to whoever does. There's loads of cool stuff on there. I might actually sort of comb through it and just see if there are any bits and pieces I want on there for like.
I was about to say, I think it's worth it. If there's some things that are a bit cheaper, you might find a little gem in there, or maybe just a gap, something in your collection that you're missing. I think that'd be worthwhile. I also think it's interesting to look through just from an RPG history point of view, just to because it sounds like a bit of an archive. But yeah. Quick question: do they have the Dallas RPG? Someone has asked.
I did not see it there, but it does not matter because you know who does have the Dallas RPG? This guy here.
I wonder how much that's worth these days. Must be millions.
Nothing.
No, you have to pay people to take it.
Yeah. Please take it off my hands, please.
All right. I tell you what, I'll have the Dallas RPG off you if you give me $1,000.
Wow. I mean. It's a tempting deal, Jess.
Just to get it out your possession. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right. So RPG history at the auction house. Pick up something if you're interested in collecting said things.
Yeah.
All right. We have some other news as well.
Unbelievably, yes, there is more news. We have a trailer to watch, in fact. We watched a trailer together. This is the Critical Role Campaign 4 trailer, which was released just this week. I think just yesterday, in fact, or the day before. And then we got a couple of snippets of news about Critical Role as well. We'll do that after the trailer.
All right, let's roll the trailer. If you're listening to the podcast, you'll hear the audio, and it's mostly talking, so it should be good to hear.
Here in the darkness of a jail cell, marked for death, beset by enemies on all sides, I have only this to say. I didn't get in nearly as much trouble as I wanted to. The wolves are at our door. It's been 12 years since the end of the Falcons' Rebellion, and the Sundered Houses are stronger than ever. The Revolutionary Council a shadow of its former glory. Why do I say this? To discourage? To frighten? I say it because my grandparents and yours defied the gods and saved their people. What would you do to honor that memory? Would you fight? Would you die? I have no intention of dying tomorrow. But if I do, I'm glad to have gone down fighting. I can still hear the falcons cry. Can you?
I enjoyed that. That was a good trailer. I'm having emotions, thoughts, and feelings. How about you,
They have a lovely setup, don't they?
They do.
Gorgeous setup there. I mean, that trailer, the visuals for those who are listening on the podcast, was mainly just the camera panning slowly over the various players' faces and sometimes looking at some dice and stuff. So yeah, there wasn't an awful lot that you probably missed on the visuals, but I think the voiceover kind of described the kind of setup, and it's a very it's quite a dark and grim kind of feel to it.
Yeah, I mean, this starting, just to give context to the story we heard, it is starting with the execution of the voice Brennan Lee Mulligan was doing, and that's what the campaign is starting. And I know there's, because the campaign is being done, there's like 3 different groups, and I know one of them is like focusing on politics and intrigue, which I'm very interested in because I love an RPG that focuses on that. And interesting because it is using Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, and doing a political intrigue game with D&D can be tricky. So I'm intrigued to see it.
So they've got 13 players. And apparently the first few episodes will feature all 13 players before they split off into the 3 separate tables. And the 3 separate tables were, I believe, wasn't it, a sort of intriguey one, an explory one, and a combat-y one, I think. Yeah. Different focuses. I think that was the 3 focuses, if I'm correct. But there will be crossover between those tables as well. It's not like they're all completely siloed out. So some players will cross over. But at first it's going to be all 13, which sounds like quite a thing to manage.
Yeah, quite the table. But they're all there because of the execution of this person who's called Thazig Fang.
You say that, yeah. The Jazzy Fang.
It's Thjazi.
Yes.
The Jazzy Fang. But anyway, Fang is definitely his surname. Yeah. He's this person's being, his execution's happening, and so all the players are going to be there for that. So it sounds like it's the beginning of a revolution or a rebellion or something like that that's going to incite these groups to do their thing, which I love the idea of, because I recently finished watching Andor, and I really enjoyed Andor.
I like Andor. Andor was
so
good.
I think this campaign's going to have that feel like they're all working towards one bigger thing, but they're all doing it in different ways. I'm tempted to watch this because I haven't got into Critical Role before, because there's so much history.
Backstory. And this is a reboot. This is a nice reboot of the New World. Yeah.
So I can jump in and I'm not missing context.
Yeah. So this is, the world is called Araman. Araman. And apparently, like 70 years ago, the gods got overthrown. I don't know a lot more about that. There's some other conflicts and stuff going on. But it's interesting that Matt Mercer, of course, is not the DM this time round. It is Brennan Lee Mulligan instead.
Which is why the campaign has this political overthrow the government vibe to it, because all of his games are always the bad guys is like the government or capitalism or stuff like that, which I love. So it doesn't surprise me that it has this tone to it of like, we need to rise up and rebel and overthrow. So yeah.
There's some sort of little bits of snippets, because they've been doing the interview rounds this week, and we've got one coming up on Ian Wood later today as well, apparently. But they've been doing the interview rounds this week, and talking a bit about, because there's a lot of stuff that people speculate and suppose, I guess, about Critical Role, and they sort of cleared up some of those misconceptions, because people are asking things like, why on earth are they using D&D and not Daggerheart? Do Critical Role get paid by Wizards of the Coast? All this sort of stuff people say.
Yeah.
And so they've addressed that in some of the interviews.
Oh, what have they said?
So on the do they get paid? No, they've never been paid by Wizards of the Coast.
Not been sponsored or anything.
Or sponsored. I mean, they have worked with Wizards of the Coast on things like the Exandria setting book and various other things.
That's always been very transparent, because they're like, we're collaborating and doing this thing. So that's...
But they've never been sponsored or paid to do Critical Role itself, or to feature D&D, and the fact that this current season is D&D 2024. Again, they're not being paid by Wizards of the Coast to use D&D 2024, and the decision to use D&D 24, they're saying, was due in a couple of different parts. But one was because it's about the comfort of the DM. Brennan Lee Mulligan is comfortable with D&D. Second was about the type of stories they want to tell. which they feel that D&D is more suited to this particular campaign than Daggerheart would be. And the third thing was, it's kind of planned quite a long time ago. It's not like it's it's a whim, a decision they made last week. It was planned quite a long time ago, and long before, Daggerheart came out. So it's not sort of like a sudden, let's use D&D or Daggerheart. What should we use? They'd known they were going to be doing D&D 24 like probably a year ago.
Yeah, that makes sense.
When they were planning this and setting all this stuff up.
Yeah, but October 2nd is when this will be launching.
Yes.
So I'm tempted to... That's only next week.
It's very soon, yeah.
Yeah.
Very soon.
And somebody said, is it available on Bacon, YouTube and Twitch? It is Beacon opposed to Bacon. So
I prefer Bacon.
If you're vegetarian, you can still watch it on... so Beacon is Critical Role's like streaming sort of platform that they have that you can... I can't remember how much it is. It wasn't a lot. It was a few pounds a month for their streaming service, and you can watch their shows whenever you want. I believe they're still having the live streams available on YouTube and Twitch as normal, but it's available to watch live. And if you want to catch up later, I think you have to use Beacon, I believe is the case. So if you don't want to pay for Beacon, you can watch them live. So if you go to their YouTube or Twitch pages for Critical Role and look for October 2nd, they will have the video there that you can go along to watch. I might do that. Maybe that's what I'll do. Yeah.
I mean, it's going to cost you like 4 hours a week or something. That's the main barrier for me watching these things. It's like, I would love to, but it's just finding the time.
I think I'm going to try and find some admin work to do that isn't... I'm not having to think about
put it on in the background.
Yeah, so I can kind of go between the two. Because that's what I like using actual plays for as well. Although it might be difficult with the political intrigue element in this one, because I might look away for a bit and then come back 10 minutes later and be like, what has happened?
That's I can't really put it on in the background because I just won't follow it at all. And like half an hour will go and literally nothing will have gone in, and then I'll turn my attention back to it and I'll have no idea what's happening. Because maybe it's just the way my brain works, but I focus on one thing at a time and that's it. I can't do two things.
I can do podcasts like audio actual plays, because I usually put them on when I'm like cleaning the house or doing chores.
I just tune them out.
Oh really? Even if you're doing something really boring like dusting or picking up dog poop?
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, I can walk the dogs and listen to it because that's basically mindless.
Oh, fair. Yeah.
But if it requires any kind of mental activity on my part whatsoever, whatever's going in my ears is tuned out.
Yeah. And one of the listeners has clarified, and I should say, because I was saying you can watch it live, they have said these episodes are pre-recorded and edited, but this will be the first time it's broadcast. So when I'm saying live, they're not recording it live in front of the studio audience. It is pre-recorded. So thank you for that clarification. Sorry, that was a good point. But what I meant live is the first time they broadcast it on YouTube and Twitch, you can watch it without paying. Yeah. Yep. Maybe I'll watch that. So we shall see. When is the 2nd? Is that a Friday? It's a Thursday.
They're usually Thursdays, aren't they, Critical Role?
Tell you what, I'll try and watch it, and then next week I can tell you what I think. Okay.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. See you there.
All right. Okay. So, how much D&D stuff is there?
Again, can you clarify the question? You're asking very open-ended questions today, Russ.
All right. How much D&D stuff has ever been made for all editions?
Not just Wizards of the Coast.
Ever.
I can't conceptualize, because there's thousands of new, I feel like, games coming out a year.
So official ones, not third.
Oh, so just Wizards,
so
Wizards
and TSR basically.
That's still a lot.
Still a lot.
2,000.
2,000 D&D stuffs. Okay.
Does that just mean books, or does that mean minis?
So I've got some stats here. It includes books, box sets. It does not include magazines, miniatures, dice, that sort of thing. But it includes books, box sets, things like that.
I can't even know. It's in the thousands, in the high thousands. 2,000 was probably too low. Because ever since the 80s, I don't know. Tell me, Russ.
Okay. Well, before we do that, let's. What edition of D&D would you say is probably the one with the most stuff?
Has 5th edition been around fifth edition's
10
been 10 years, and how long were the other editions out for? Because that's quite a long, and we're still in fifth edition because the 2024 is not a new rule set, so it still counts as the same edition.
So let's have a look. So original D&D and basic D&D kind of overlapped, and they were probably up until sort of like, I don't know, the 80s, late 80s, and AD&D came in. That was about 12 years, I think, or something like that. AD&D 2E, second edition, was a little shorter. I think it was probably about 10 years, I think, at a guess. And then third edition would have been 15 years, because that would have been 2000 to 2015 when... Oh no, I missed out fourth edition, didn't I? So that would have been about 10 years of third edition, about 5 years of fourth edition, and then about 10 years of fifth edition.
So for
this
me...
This is off the top of my head, though, so I might get those numbers slightly wrong.
It's between first edition and fifth edition then, and I'm going to go for fifth edition purely because the hobby has grown over time, and maybe they can leverage that into more commercial products. So that, to answer your question, Russ, I believe fifth edition would have the most stuff and or things.
Well, you'd be incorrect, because it is dwarfed by second edition.
Duh! Okay.
Dwarfed. Oh, look at this. So this is going back to 1974.
Wow.
So, as you can see, the second edition has nearly half of all D&D products ever made. 44%.
That's wild.
45%.
Why is that?
It's partly why people say TSR failed, why it went bankrupt, because they were pumping out so much stuff. They had, you know, a dozen different campaign worlds, which were basically product lines, which were all kind of like siloed off, and like the individual sales on each one was comparatively lower, because instead of having, say you have 1,000 customers, they didn't have 1,000, they had a lot more. So you have 1,000 customers and you've got one campaign setting, then that campaign setting will sell 1,000 units.
Yeah.
But if you have 1,000 customers and you have 10 campaign settings, each customer on average is going to buy, each one's going to sell on average 100 units, because most people aren't going to buy 10 different campaign settings, because they're not going to use 10 campaign settings, are they?
Yeah.
You can't. So that's kind of why they say TSR, one of the big reasons TSR failed, because it just put out too much stuff and basically spread itself too thin. But it's tons and tons and tons of stuff. So as you can see, sort of second edition was by far the biggest, followed by...
I was so edition. Wrong. Yeah, I was so wrong.
Yeah. Fifth edition is only 6%.
I almost couldn't be more wrong.
It's actually the lowest.
Yeah. Of all the wrongs.
Apart from original D&D, sorry, which is 1.1%.
Yeah.
It is, fifth edition is the second lowest.
That would have been the only way I could have been more wrong.
Yeah. I was surprised by that. I knew second edition would be the top one, because I remember how much stuff there was and how much.
Well, I wasn't alive back then, you see, Russ, so I don't know these things.
You were around in the 80s and the 90s.
I was around. Oh, yeah, that's true. When did third edition launch?
Third edition was 2000.
Early 90s? Oh, it's 2000.
Yeah.
I thought it was early 90s. I'm wrong.
No.
I wasn't in the hobby at that time. But I was playing Hero Quest.
Which is something that you're doing this weekend, I believe.
It is. I've got my nephew and niece over, and they have been asking for 2 weeks for me to run some Hero Quest, and we haven't had the time. So I said, okay, this weekend. And it's going to be raining where I am all day tomorrow. So I think the plan is to just stay inside and play Hero Quest a lot. And
the characters are Princess, Spider-Girl, and Darren. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what? That's what they like, and that's fine.
Fine. I'm not complaining. So we got more.
No, it's Aaron, not Darren, actually.
Oh, well, that's totally different.
I know.
I mean, I feel deceived now. I feel like I've been gaslit about this Hero Quest game.
So next week I'll let you know how Critical Role was and how the adventures of Spider-Girl and Aaron, Princess Spider-Girl and Aaron were.
I think I prefer Darren. Darren kind of worked better for the joke, but still.
I mean,
Anyway.
Anyway,
let's have a look at this graph. This is the number of average products each edition put out per year. So you can see 5th edition puts out under 10 products a year.
But that makes sense to me. Like 1 a month is still a huge amount of products.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, absolutely. You know. And that's worked incredibly well for them. It's the most successful edition ever, isn't it? 5th edition.
Yes.
They figured out how to do it. Put out a smaller number of products and have everyone buy all of them, rather than a lot of products and have some people buy each one.
Yeah.
So look at 2nd edition there. Like 50 products a year.
That's too
That's
many.
5 a month. Yeah.
There's no way, even as a mega
That's 1 a
fan,
week.
you could keep up with that volume.
That's 1 a week. Yeah. It's just a flood, a tsunami of D&D stuff.
Wow.
And even 4th edition was putting out a lot. That's about 25 products a year. So that was one every 2 weeks.
Yeah, and if it's all setting and stuff, that must be quite expensive because you're paying so many different writers and artists and
how do you market all that as well? You don't have time to market each one, but before the next one's on.
Yeah, that makes sense with what you're saying about TSR, and that's why, it didn't work out because just the sheer volume. But I get why, if they had loads of ideas and they wanted to get loads of stuff out there, I understand the enthusiasm, being like, yeah, we're going to do all these things and it's so great, because in theory that sounds great, but...
Yeah. Well, bear in mind, this isn't even counting the magazines. So Dragon Magazine, Dungeon Magazine and Polyhedron Magazine.
Oh gosh.
3 entire magazine lines going on at the same time, monthly magazines going on at the same time. That makes it even add up even more.
Does that include Dragon Warriors? Was that a magazine?
Only D&D branded stuff we're talking about here.
Oh, okay.
Only D&D branded stuff.
Okay.
Official D&D branded stuff, so not licensed stuff or anything like that. But yeah,
that is so many.
It's a lot of stuff. I've got another graph here. A set of graphs, actually, I put together. Ooh. This is all compiled, by the way, by Echo Hawk on EN World, who does these amazing columns about D&D collectors, articles listing all the products to collect, the monster encyclopedia, all sorts of things. So this is sort of per year. I don't know if you can actually read all of that. It's actually, there's 7 graphs there, all quite small.
Yeah.
But this is how each of them sort of operated per year. How many products, and also that each is on a different scale. Because obviously the 2nd edition one is a different scale to like the 5th edition one. Yeah,
because 2nd edition is on a different scale to everything else because they were doing so much.
Yeah. It is fascinating though. It really is fascinating.
Yeah.
But Echo Hawk also calculated the cost, because it was kind of like, how much would it cost to be a D&D collector? So I don't have a slide for this, so I just have to read this out to you.
Okay,
So if you were to buy everything from each edition, this is how much it would cost you.
As it came out, not collector's price, but yeah.
And this isn't taking into account inflation or anything. Obviously, this, something that costs $10 then would cost more now.
In our day, that would have been a halfpenny.
A halfpenny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do actually remember half peas. Wow.
I don't.
You don't. We had a jar of them.
Anyway.
What? Anyway, so original D&D, 16 products. It would have cost you $68.41 to buy them all.
That's not too bad.
Now it would buy, as we found out earlier, for over $5,000 just to buy the original box set.
Yeah.
But $68.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that goes to show how much less stuff there is there, though.
Yeah. And also inflation. So, because like you said, that's not accounting for that.
Yeah. Then we've got basic D&D.
Mm-hmm.
So this was 129 products.
Okay.
And this would have cost you in total $1,176 to buy all of that.
That's feeling a bit more like real money.
Yeah.
Because didn't the house cost 50 quid in those days as well?
I don't think that's entirely true.
And a halfpenny, sorry.
And a halfpenny, yeah. First edition AD&D, 146 products, That would have cost you 1,136. So in the same sort of region as basic D&D. About the same.
Okay.
And then second edition.
Second edition's going to be wild. I'm not ready for this number.
Yeah. 550
sheer
products.
550. And the previous ones were how many, sorry? Like 100?
146 for first edition.
Okay.
It was 16 for original.
Oh my goodness.
So you see that. All right. So the cost to buy all of the second edition official first party stuff, not counting magazines, miniatures, dice, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just the
Just the books.
$8,374.
Wow. And that was in the 90s as well.
And that was in the 90s, yeah. So if you apply inflation, you're probably talking like 25 grand or something.
Yeah.
You'd have to be a dedicated collector to buy all of that.
Yeah, that's serious.
Which is why, nobody could really afford to buy all of the AD&D 2E stuff, which is why individually each book did less.
No, not at all.
No.
Well, there we go.
Yeah. So third edition, 171 with 4.2k that you'd have to spend. So quite a lot there.
Yeah.
They did pump quite a lot of stuff out for third edition. So $4,200 that would cost you.
Mm-hmm.
Fourth edition, 135 products, would cost you $2,800.
Okay.
And then fifth edition. Fifth edition, 84 products would cost you $3,500 to buy all of fifth edition.
Wow, that feels quite reasonable when you put it in those terms.
Yeah, I suppose it's only half what second edition would have cost you, but like we say, we're not counting inflation in that.
Yeah.
In real terms, I guess it's only a fraction.
Yeah. Well, there we go. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Thanks for compiling. And I guess the full article's on EN World if people want to dig more into the...
Yeah, there's lots more graphs, lots more data that you can dig into, and you can add whatever else you want up on there and come to whatever conclusions you decide you want to. I mean, he's done things like worked out how much it costs per page per edition and things like that, which is probably more detail than we need to go into here, but there'll be a link in the show notes and you can look up the fact that 3E costs you 17 cents a page, whereas 4E would have cost you 21 cents a page, and 5E comes in at 27 cents a page, if you're that interested.
This is what I love about nerd communities, is people do deep dives and do stuff like this. I love it. I love our community.
Yeah. Well, that's how much D&D stuff there is. Quite a lot is the answer.
And I was wrong. It's not
bear in
fifth
mind, we're only
edition that had the
talking
most
official stuff there. Like in the 2000s, the D20 club was massive.
Yeah.
Everyone pumping out D20 branded stuff.
Yeah.
And these days, 5e third-party stuff is massive.
Yeah.
I don't know how it compares to the D20 guide. That would be a really interesting thing to do, to compare the two. Get figures on both.
Oh, that would be a big data set. So
I think the question is, do you count all of DM's Guild? Because there's a lot of stuff on there.
I think so.
There's an awful lot of stuff on there.
Well, I'm not going to compile that data because
No,
I don't think even whilst I'm watching Critical Role next week, I don't think I'll have time.
No. It'll be interesting though. It would be interesting just to compare. Because we did talk last week. Was it last week? We showed a graph about how... Did we talk about it? I can't remember.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Probably if I tell you what I'm talking about, then you can tell me whether we talked about it. How about we do it that way around?
That will help me.
Why don't you treat causality and time as a linear thing?
That is how I
do things in the order in which they occur. Yeah, that's probably easier, I think.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll do that. Okay. So the number of third-party D&D stuff basically dropped off a cliff in 2023.
Okay.
It was going up and up and up. It peaked in 2023 and then dropped off a cliff. Did we talk about that? There was a graph and everything. I know I put it on Blue Sky. I know I talked about it on Blue Sky.
I don't know is the most sincere answer I can give you.
You can't remember whether we did. I think maybe we didn't actually. I think I might have just put it on Blue Sky.
Oh, fair enough. I don't remember, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen. But anyway, this is the case.
Yes. And of course, there's two things that would contribute to that, I think. One, that was the time of the OGL crisis. So everyone was like, oh, I am a bit too scared to produce 5e compatible stuff right now.
Yeah.
And it never recovered.
Mm-hmm.
At least as of yet. We don't know what the second half of 2025 is like. But certainly up as far as the first half of 2025, the graph basically was going up and up and up. To the end of 2023, OGL crisis, and then it went shoo, like that. The other thing was D&D 2024 being announced.
Yeah.
So I think that has two effects on the market. As there's two things. One is customers like, well, I'm going to wait and see what Wizards is doing, and my budget for role-playing games is this, and I'm going to spend it on the 3 big shiny new hardcover D&D books.
Sure.
So of course the market for third-party stuff shrunk because there's a new big shiny for the £800 gorilla in the room.
Yeah.
And the other thing was the publishers themselves were doing the same thing, saying, right, let's wait and see what 2024 is, because we don't want to put stuff out which is going to be obsolete in 6 months or a year's time.
Yeah.
So I think those two things, the OGL thing and D&D 24, together combined to a massive shrinking of the third-party D&D market. Whether that will continue or whether that will reverse itself, I suspect it will start to reverse itself over the next year or two. I don't know. But I think, not that we want to share internal sales figures, but we've certainly noticed that. And from informal conversations I've had with other companies who, I'm not going to say who, other people have noticed that too. It's not...
This does happen every time a new edition of Dungeons & Dragons comes out. And I know that it's not a new edition, thing. Yeah,
yes. But it is.
Yeah.
Well,
yes. But, yes. But yeah, this does tend to happen to the third-party market every time it happens.
Yeah.
So it's not a huge surprise. I'm not shooketh by this.
No. I think Wizards' concentration on starter sets over the second half of this year might leave a little space for third-party stuff.
Yeah.
People who are sort of like, well, I don't need a starter set. What I want is a new campaign setting or an adventure or a source book
monsters,
about witches or something,
I do want a source book about witches, actually.
There are probably many, Jess.
I'll go Google later.
I'm sure there are many. I'm sure I've seen quite a few on Kickstarter over the last few years.
Wonderful. Well, there we go.
Yeah.
Stats and data. Good to have.
Actual stats and actual data.
What else we got in the news?
Right, well, the big news this week. All right, it's not big news. It is news, sort of. Paizo is a brand new store coming. I realise game publisher has new store platform probably isn't the most sort of, the sexiest of D&D news, but Paizo has a brand new store coming. They've had the old one has been around for 20 years, 25 years, and it was kind of creaking. It was old software. So I don't know what was going on behind the scenes there or anything, but they have updated to a brand new store.
Cool.
It hasn't actually launched yet, I think, but what they've provided is a kind of previews and screenshots and previews of it.
Looks very clean and easy to navigate.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at that looks to me very much like a Shopify product store page. So I'm going to guess it's Shopify they're using. That looks very much like our store, for example, the exact same layout, which uses Shopify. And Shopify is the biggest web store platform on the planet. A lot of people do it, and it's very customizable and very easy to use and has lots of plugins, and it's always a good call to use. So I think that is Shopify they're using.
Yeah.
If not, it looks very similar to Shopify.
Yeah. Well, maybe a lot of those web stores look similar anyway. But it looks nice. True. It looks clean, easy to navigate. Must have been a lot of work for somebody to do.
Yeah. And they're sort of redesigning some of the layout as well in terms of categories. So they're going to have a coming soon category on there where you can see all the stuff that's announced but not yet available. You'll easily be able to see that. There's a section which will be called new to role playing, which is for people who just want to see all the introductory stuff, like the starter sets, the beginner boxes, or maybe the player core.
I'm just getting into Pathfinder. Just show me what I need to start. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And then we've got a Pathfinder partners section, which is licensed partners who are making licensed Pathfinder stuff. So I think Yeah, I think it's an improvement, and it's probably
Yeah.
been needed for quite some time because they were using old software. And
Yeah.
as someone who has sort of had platforms and things which have gone on for 10, 20, 25 years myself, I can very much sympathise with that when you're using creaking old stuff that's probably been hacked and modified a million times to make it do things you need it to do and to keep up with the current trends and how these things are supposed to work and what customers expect of them. And at the end, you end up with this hodgepodge of code and you think, we just need to start again with a nice
held together with duct tape and chewing gum and there's a stick holding up this corner.
I mean, I can certainly say that for like EN World itself has had probably 4 different sort of major iterations over the last 25 years where
25 years, gosh.
Yeah, I know.
Just how the internet has changed in 25 years and how people use it.
And also how it hasn't in some ways. Some of it is just exactly the same, especially in terms of conversations being had. The arguments being had about D&D, the exact same conversations going on 25 years later.
Wow,
it's amazing.
War never changes.
Yeah. I mean, and also, which is fine because, new people come in, old people leave. Just because you're seeing that conversation had for the conversation about whether hit points are meat or luck being had for the 7 billionth time yourself doesn't mean that people are not having it for the first time themselves because, maybe they picked up a starter set last week or last year and, they're just getting into the online community and they're having these conversations about things that interest them.
Yep. Very true.
It is interesting.
Well, the new Paizo web store looks good. Looks easy to navigate.
Yeah.
Good job.
So it's coming soon. I don't know what date exactly, but they do say they're going to go dark for a couple of days.
They'll probably announce that.
Yes, yeah. So they're going to have other things like wish lists and things like that on there.
That's nice.
Foundry VTT kind of plug-in stuff, pre-order stuff, just the sort of stuff that
you'd want.
Yeah.
Cool. Sounds good. Looking forward to it.
It does sound good, yeah. Good for them.
Indeed.
I hear, famously, Jess, you hate dice, don't you? You despise
I do.
dice.
Can't stand them. Won't touch them.
Worst things ever. Because I'm afraid I've got to show you some dice.
Don't have them chained around my neck constantly.
Oh, man. I've got to show you some dice now. I'm sorry.
So
you just have to steel yourself.
All right.
And it's not just one dice. It's a whole load of sets of dice. The worst, right? So, Stranger Things and dice are 2 things that go together.
They are.
Because Sirius Dice is releasing some Stranger Things dice sets. 7-piece dice sets, the usual kind of one of each type. And these are based on the main characters in Stranger Things. So each one's got their own dice set.
Okay,
so Will, Eleven, Dustin, Mike, Erica, and Lucas.
Sure.
So here's the first one. And you can see each of them's themes. So it's got like a little bicycle on it.
A walkie-talkie, a torch.
Yeah.
Cute.
Yeah. So I don't know if you can guess which is which, because I don't necessarily know which is which.
I would guess this one with the dice, the torch, and the walkie-talkie is Mike.
Maybe. Okay. Well, the next one, this one.
This has an ice cream, and I don't know what the other 2 things are.
Oh, there's like an amulet of some kind? And a demon head? Or a mask?
Demon head. Is it a machete? An ice cream? Oh, is that Steve? Because he worked at the ice cream. He worked at the Scoops ice cream place.
And it's kind of an ice cream colour.
And he uses the machete.
Right, there you go. Okay.
That's my guess.
Yeah.
Another set of dice. I do like sets of dice.
Someone just asked, hey, just got here. Have we talked about the MCG Sofa Backer Kit? Yes, several weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I think. 2 weeks ago. One of those.
I think it was last week or the week before we talked about the Cypher Backer Kit so that people had time to go and have a look.
I think it was 3 weeks ago, actually.
Yeah, but today, we normally try and announce the crowdfunding campaigns when they launch so people have time to listen and go have a look whilst it's still live.
But yeah, it is. I don't know if it's going to do it. The last time I looked at it, which was yesterday, it was on 800 grand. It is approaching 1 million.
It's on the last day.
Charles Ryan from Monty Cook Games said, yesterday, it's coming up to 1 million. he reckons there's about a 50-50 chance of doing it. But what he was kind of proud of was the fact that very, very few crowdfunders have made $1 million without being either 5e or a licensed product.
This is very true.
Which is something I've pointed out a few times. So I looked up the exact figure on why, I compile the $1 million Kickstarter Club chart thing.
Yeah.
3. There have been 3 ever.
Wow.
In the history of ever, crowdfunders for TTRPGs or TTRPG products that have hit $1 million without being 5e or a big license like Cosmere or Avatar or something like that. Only 3.
There we go.
So it's an exclusive club. But yes, but the answer to the question is yes. We have talked about MTG Cyber Kit, but it was 3 weeks ago, sadly.
Yeah.
But you can find that you can find that episode on our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And in fact, I think the actual segment of it is actually pulled out and put in a separate YouTube video as well, if you just want that bit.
Anyway, but back to the Stranger Things dice.
Back to the Stranger Things dice set, like this one, blue with a wizard hat and a light bulb and.
Oh no, this is the kid that I've forgotten his name. The kid that went missing in the first season.
Well, I think this is Will actually, because
Will, that's the one, yeah.
Will the Wise in the D&D campaigns.
Yes, and he used the light bulbs to communicate with his mum when he was in the Upside Down.
Right, yes, I remember.
Spoilers for season 1, Stranger Things.
That was a long time ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Back when they were kids and they weren't 45 like they are now.
Yeah. All right, cool.
The next set. I see a Vecna hand on there. Bright red, dark red kind of colour.
And then a grid like the drain. I don't know whose that is.
I don't know whose that is.
Anyway, okay, cool.
It's been so long, I've kind of forgotten a lot of Stranger Things. I'm going to need a recap before the new season starts this year.
The new season starts next month, I think. So you best start watching now, really.
Well, I'm not going to watch it all again. I'm just hoping I'm going to find a YouTube video which just brings.
Oh, that will exist. Someone will have done a summary. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, there's some pretty looking dice. So when are they coming out? Where can we get them?
We've got more.
More?
Look at that. We've got orange and blue ones.
Oh, that's got the compass, the hat, and the little baby version of the demi-dog. So that will be the boy whose name I've forgotten.
Okay. I don't know who that would be.
Dustin.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And
this is a fun game.
A final set.
And that's the slingshot, binoculars, and a bandana. So that is the other boy whose name I've forgotten.
Okay.
This is a good podcast episode.
The names are Will, 11, Dustin, Mike, Erica, and Lucas. So 11. Which one was 11's?
I don't know. Maybe it's the grid in the hand.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
But anyway, there are Stranger Things by dice themed to them by Sirius Dice. When are they going to be available?
October the 8th, so very soon.
Oh, okay.
I don't know offhand how much they are. I'm looking at this. I can't see a price, but they will be October the 8th. All 7
I reckon
sets.
They'll be about 20 or 30 quid, probably.
Maybe.
That would be my guess. We'll see if I'm correct.
Yeah.
It's always nice to have tie-in dice. They're nice.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Right. Final news item of the week.
Oh, yeah. I saw this. This is cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad you've included this.
This is part of our third-party community for Level Up.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a dice. That's not the one we want. This is what we want. Wild Magic Reimagined. And this is by Speaks and Spells Publishing. And it's doing really well.
In fact, it is you can play it with Level Up Advanced 5th edition, but also Tales of the Valiant and 5th edition. So it's very good for lots of things.
The secret is all 3 of those are compatible with each other. Most things you can use with any of those 3 games.
I know that, Russ, but I'm just making sure the audience is aware.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is very cool.
But it's done $60,000 so far, and it's still got 20 days to go. Kit is predicting $96,000, so it's coming in around the $100,000 mark.
That's great to
incredibly
see.
Well. It's that's astonishing. It's their first First ever project.
What
$100,000 in
success?
your first project. Project we love from Kickstarter. I wonder what that's
Yeah.
like. We've only like made 60, and we've never had a project we love.
Yes,
from
we have.
Kickstarter. Oh,
Yes,
haven't?
we have.
When?
Yeah, I can point to some. I can't off the top of my head, but
Well,
we
you
absolutely
not.
have.
We've never had one.
Yes, we have.
I am sure we haven't.
How much do you want to bet? Okay.
All right.
Live-
What is the bet? Okay.
50 quid.
Okay. Not money. Something more fun than money.
Oh. Okay, like a dog then.
A dog. An actual dog.
If I'm wrong, you get to have Django, and if you're wrong, I get to pick one of yours.
Do you really want one of my dogs?
No.
No.
Anyway, okay, for ego, we'll do it for ego, and I'll settle this. But we absolutely have a project we love.
Yeah. Grant at BSB in the chat says the biggest A5E 3PP Kickstarter launch ever. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. It's doing really well.
The
Yeah.
World Magic Reimagined, it does exactly what it says on the tin. I think that's why it's done so well. It's really clear.
Yeah. I mean, it's very well presented as well.
Yes.
They've done a very good job on that Kickstarter page. Sometimes you look at a Kickstarter page and you kind of, either you're not 100% sure what it is, or it all looks a little bit scrappy. But this is very, very well done. It looks very polished.
Neither of those things are true for this campaign. It's very polished. It looks very good.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, I will be backing this. I've got 20 days in which to do it, but I will back this because it does look very cool.
Nice. I think that's the news for this week. The only thing would be to remind people that we have our own Kickstarter live at the moment.
We do.
What's Old is New. So the bestiary is live. It's fully funded in all of 6 minutes the first day, which is great. So it is happening, but we are still going towards our stretch goal so that we can do an offset print run opposed to a print on demand version.
Yes.
And also another stretch goal for the core books. If we get enough of those for a new print run, we'll do a new pretty cover of the What's Old is New core book. So you can check that out there. If you'd like to support us at EM Publishing and EM World.
Yeah. Well, that I think is that.
That is
That's
that.
the show. We're done.
All right. We managed to do it without PJ. Nothing set on fire. Well done, us.
And you've got some chickens to rescue, apparently.
I do. I am chicken watching this week, and it's not gone too well. We are one chicken down.
What no mention of BG3 from Bob told me to do it in the chat. Can you think of anything to say about BGT? BGT? And that's
Baldur's Gate 3.
Baldur's Gate 3.
Yes, I can.
Yes.
Give me
Everyone
a
take a
minute.
drink.
Everyone take a drink. So Baldur's Gate 3. I don't have any specific Baldur's Gate 3 news this week. No, sorry.
I saw something. Actually, I did see something.
Oh,
but
did
it didn't
you?
quite register because it was like something to do with Steam, and I don't know what it was. I'm sorry, and I didn't make a note
There
of it
was
or include it in the show.
Oh, I know. I do have something. So there
Okay.
was a bug issue because they didn't update, and this is on the PlayStation version. And I think there is a bug happening when you change characters that it stops you from doing something, so it annoys your game. So if you're playing in honor mode on the PlayStation, just check for that update. But I actually haven't played Baldur's Gate 3 for weeks because I've been staying down. I know, I've been staying down here. I'm in my alternate location. I'm staying at my parents' house, helping them out for a bit. And I've only bought my work laptop that can't run games. I just use it for live streaming and work and stuff. So, yeah.
Are you having withdrawal symptoms? Here we go. Baldur's Gate 3 new hotfix means it can run natively on Steam Deck. I don't know what that means, but that is a piece of news.
There you go. There's the Baldur's Gate 3 news of the week.
What is Steam Deck?
I don't know how to concisely and interestingly explain it to you, so just Google it after the show, I reckon. Let's go have a weekend.
Okay, fair enough. But Baldur's Gate 3 has been mentioned. There you go.
But next week, I will be back in my usual place and I'll be playing Baldur's Gate 3, so maybe I can talk to you about it more then. And I'll also try and watch Critical Role on Thursday, so I'll tell you about that next week. And I'll tell you how the adventures of Spider-Girl and Aaron went in Hero Quest this weekend as well.
But not Darren, who it turns
No,
out
Darren's
never
not
existed.
invited.
No.
I remembered it is Aaron, but Aaron and Darren is very simple. There's just a D between them. Darren.
Aaron. D apostrophe Aaron.
Oh, this is getting ridiculous. Let's leave. All right,
Let's get
enough of
out of
this.
here. All right, it will just be us two next week, but Peter will be back the week after. As usual, we'll be streaming live. If you're listening to it on the podcast, if you want to join us live on Fridays at 2 p.m. UK time or 9 a.m. Eastern time. You can join us on YouTube, you can join us on Twitch, you can join us on Facebook, or you can just join us in spirit. I don't know, in the astral plane or something. Or you can just come around my house. No, don't do that.
Bye.
Bye.
All the tabletop role-playing news. We aim to amuse and we aim to enthuse. And Morris's unofficial tabletop RPG.